Hey Anime Stark fam. Welcome back to the channel. We're diving back into the wild what-if universe where Deku, now a mafia turned teacher, takes center stage. Part 2 is packed with more surprises, drama, and action. So, sit tight and let's explore this thrilling continuation together. It's What If Deku Was a Mafia and Became a Teacher Part 2. Let's roll. Character speaking, hello, how are you? Character thinking, those jerks. Character speaking another language, well, it's better than nothing. Character action, takes his weapon and points it at the face. This might be useful for more than just character actions. Narrator's POV. It's midnight, and we find ourselves at the port of Japan after a long boat journey. Currently, the few men who came to drop off Izuku are unloading their things. They hired trucks to take Izuku's belongings to the house where he will be living with his team during the job. He was a bit worried, not about the job, but because he didn't know who he would be working with. He wasn't sure if everyone would like him. While he cared very little about what others thought of him, they would be the ones helping him during his stay. If they didn't like him, or if he didn't like them, he would have to deal with it, and that would be torture. They could try various things against him, and that was not good because he didn't want to create a massacre so soon, maybe tomorrow but not today. In his mind, he was praying that his team, subordinates or whatever they want to call them, would be like his sister Vita, people who follow orders to the letter, efficient, and respectful. But he would settle for them being like his mentor Boris. While not the most respectful, he was effective at work, knew how to keep a cool head, and didn't let emotions take over. That was the minimum he expected from his team, and now all that was left was to say goodbye and head to his new home. Izuku's POV. I was saying goodbye to the members who came to drop me off. They had already finished unloading the rest of my things onto the trucks and were now heading to my new home. All that was left for me to do was take the motorcycle my mother gave me since I wanted to use it as soon as possible. The goods were inside the trunk of one of my cars, yet to be brought. Now, I only worry about 4 things: my weapons, my cars, the 2 androids that could be considered my life, as I dedicated 6 years to their development. Although they work, I feel like I can improve them more, not to mention they are delicate. Lastly, my team, because I didn't want to deal with another Revi, Roberta, or Tenryu, that would honestly drive me crazy. Don't get me wrong, I love them, but not enough to deal with a team full of people like them. But getting back to the point, now all I can do is pray, even though I have never prayed. Well, there's a first time for everything. Izuku, thanks for bringing me, guys. Soldiers, no problem, if you ever need anything, count on us, they all replied synchronously, which definitely startled Izuku because that wasn't normal. Izuku, thanks, guys, don't forget to load enough fuel, heading towards the motorcycle. Soldiers, have a safe trip, sir, again synchronized. Izuku, yeah, whatever you say, but please stop calling me sir, kept walking. Soldiers, alright, take care, they said as they began to refuel. Izuku waved his hand in farewell, got on his motorcycle, and headed towards the direction his mother gave before leaving Roanapur. Motorcycle balalaika gave him before leaving. How he was dressed. Narrator's POV. Izuku started driving through the city to distract himself a bit and quickly survey the city where he would be living. But during his journey, he realized something: he was attracting a lot of attention from women who thought he was handsome and looks of surprise from men because American customized motorcycles were not very common in Tokyo. However, they weren't the only ones impressed, as Izuku was also a bit impressed. He thought Tokyo would have a more peaceful nightlife than Roanapur, but no, they were quite similar. There was a bit of everything, women coming and going, just like cars, a drunkard or 2 on the street, and some small-time delinquents. After snapping out of it, he continued towards his destination, but something stopped him: his stomach. Luckily, there was a 24-hour place relatively close, just a couple of blocks away. Izuku's POV. After starting to drive, I noticed that the nightlife was quite similar to Roanapur, which worries me a bit. There are a lot of people, and to make matters worse, there are also plenty of heroes doing their rounds. That could complicate the jobs a bit, but well, I'll deal with that later. Right now, I just want to eat something because I don't remember having eaten anything during the boat trip, and my stomach is killing me. Plus, I want to rest. I wonder if there's still a place where I can get something to eat. Izuku, waiting for the traffic light to change. What's that? Squinting his eyes to see a bit further. Oh, it seems I'm in luck, that 24-hour place isn't far. After the traffic light changed, I started driving towards the 24-hour place. Izuku arrives and parks his motorcycle. Alright, let's see if those Japanese classes with Uncle Rock really paid off. Entering the store, where a girl is attending. Girl attending, welcome, making a slight bow, if there's anything I can help you with, please don't hesitate to tell me. Izuku, oh, I understand what she's saying. It seems the classes weren't in vain. In fact, there's something I'd like you to help me with, heading to the counter and standing in front of the girl. Girl attending, a bit blushing, yes, tell me how I can help you. Izuku, well, I wanted to ask if you still have something light to eat, looking around but seeing nothing but sweets, junk food, magazines, or canned drinks. Girl attending, give me a few minutes, I think there are still some boxes of food we sell in the afternoon. She turned around to go behind the store. Izuku simply stayed in his place and waited for the girl. I hope there's still something, I don't want to go to sleep on an empty stomach. Glanced at his watch, 1:30 a.m. I wonder if my things have arrived. Come to think of it, is my team still awake? I hope so because I don't want to take another tour around the city to find a place to sleep, sighed, ah. Girl attending, returned with what looked like 3 boxes of food, sorry for the delay, these are the only ones we have left, placed the 3 on the counter. Izuku, looking at the boxes and picked one with rice, some meat, and a bit of vegetables, it was perfect in his opinion, I'll take this, please, handing her the box. Girl attending, storing the other 2, that'll be 500 yen. Do you want me to heat it up? Izuku, yes, please, while taking out his wallet, here you go, put away his wallet. Girl attending, put Izuku's food in a microwave, please wait a moment while your food heats up, looking at Izuku still a bit blushing. Izuku, no problem, now that I see her properly, she's a pretty cute girl. Izuku, no problem, now that I see her properly, she's a pretty cute girl. Narrator's POV. Izuku settled to wait on one of the chairs in the store not to bother the girl, as it was still late, and people were coming to buy. So, he just waited. But while waiting, a couple of guys entered the store. Izuku only saw them, and there was something about them that gave him a bad feeling. Both guys were dressed in black, wearing caps, and looking around. Izuku, I hope they don't try to rob the store, or they'll have a tough time, discreetly watching them and waiting to see what the guys would do. The other people seemed not to care about the presence of the guys, as if it were the most common thing in the world. Izuku, seriously? Doesn't anyone find their behavior strange? If everyone in Tokyo is equally oblivious, then I won't have to worry about my job getting complicated. Izuku continued watching the guys, and just as he thought, they made their move. One of the guys transformed one of his hands into a blade, and the other pulled out a 9mm pistol. Robber 1, this is a robbery, give us all your money, valuables, and no one try to be a hero or I'll kill them, shouted while pointing his blade at the people. Robber 2, handed a backpack to the girl behind the counter, you, empty the register into the backpack, shouted while pointing the gun at her. The girl complied and started emptying the cash register, while Robber 1 took belongings from those in the store. While all this was happening, Izuku just watched indifferently, as he didn't care about what happened to the people in this place. It would have ended well for the robbers if it weren't for one grave mistake. Robber 2 wanted to steal Izuku's motorcycle. Izuku's POV. I knew it. These idiots started robbing the store. One was taking things from the people here, the other pulled out a gun, probably a 9mm from its size, and started threatening the pretty girl to empty the cash register. But that doesn't matter to me, after all, they won't be the first or the last people I see die. I don't see any merit in saving them either, but if I don't do something, they'll think I'm their accomplice. TSK, whatever. I guess I'll have to get rid of these guys. I was just about to stand up to deal with them when the idiot with the gun approached me. Well, I don't know whether to thank him for saving me the trouble. Robber 2, pointing his gun at Izuku's head, you, give me everything valuable you have on you, looked out the window, oh wow, that's a nice bike, is it yours? Returning his gaze to Izuku. Izuku, yes, it's mine. So what? More than calm, come on, you need more than a kid's gun to intimidate me. Robber 2, give me the keys to the bike, smirking arrogantly, or else I'll shoot. Izuku, I don't think so. Robber 1, after finishing taking things from the people in the place, ha! Didn't you hear, One Eye? If you don't give us the bike keys, pointed his blade at Izuku, we'll kill you, idiot. Izuku, you've just bought yourself a ticket. Nobody calls me One Eye, not even my mother or my sisters, still seated. People in the place, what the hell is that guy doing? Does he want to get killed? Person 1, give them your things, do you want to get killed? Give them my things? Not even in Roanapur did I give my things to the robbers, and they carried .50 caliber guns. And they want me to give my things to some small-time robbers, and on top of that, they want my bike? No way. I think it's time to show who's in charge. Izuku, stood up from the chair. Robber 2, ooh, it seems like you want to play the hero, ha, said while pointing the gun at Izuku's head. Robber 1, stupid, let's kill him quickly and leave, said with an attempt at a psychopathic smile. People, he really wants to die. Izuku activated his kosei, thanks to it not altering his appearance, no one noticed. Robber 1 lunged at Izuku to slash him, and Izuku didn't move, taking the hit head on. Robber 2, ha 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 ha, and I thought it was going to be harder to get rid of him, right comrade, saw that his friend hadn't moved since stabbing Izuku, hey, you already killed him, you can let go, but no response, hey, I'm talking to you. Izuku, still unmoved, your friend won't be of any use, he's already out of the fight. And it was true. The guy with the blade had a fist mark on his abdomen. Before reaching Izuku, he received a very strong blow that left him incapacitated. Now, only Robber 2 remained. Robber 2, with wide eyes, how the hell are you still alive? He supposedly stabbed you with his blade, looking at the place where he was supposed to be wounded, but saw nothing, he was unharmed. Izuku, that doesn't matter, dropped Robber 1 and started walking towards Robber 2, what's happening? Weren't you going to kill me? Robber 2, don't come closer or I'll shoot, trying to intimidate Izuku. Izuku, oh, then, stopped in front of the robber and opened his arms, shoot. After saying that, everyone was left stunned, even the robber. But I'm not worried about his kitty pistol, it won't leave even a scratch on me. Izuku, saw that the robber wasn't moving, aren't you going to shoot? Robber 2, his hands were trembling, what the hell is wrong with this guy? It was supposed to be easy, we enter, rob, and leave. It was supposed to be easy, right? So, what am I supposed to do with this guy? Clearly, he's not afraid to die, so shooting will only make things worse for me. Izuku noticed the slight trembling and wasn't sure if the robber was in shock, so he approached, you know, I'm going to tell you something one of my teachers once said to me, grab the robber's weapon. Robber 2, stopped thinking and paid attention to what Izuku was saying. Izuku approached the robber until they were face to face and took away the weapon. What my teacher told me was, with a deeper, more serious voice, firearms, not everyone can use them without trembling. After that, he delivered a punch, rendering the robber unconscious. Izuku, I knew they were just petty robbers. POV narrator. After Izuku rendered the robbers unconscious, people calmed down as there was nothing to worry about anymore. They reclaimed their belongings, called the police for the robbers, and Izuku handed the backpack with the money to the girl. Izuku, here, it's the money they tried to steal, extending his arm with the backpack. Attending girl, thank you, she hugged Izuku. Izuku, no problem, after separating, I wanted to ask you something. Attending girl, sure, tell me. Izuku, do you think you could give me my food? Attending girl, yes, sorry, handing him his food, and thanks for saving us. Izuku, it's nothing, he left. After finishing his meal a couple of blocks away, Izuku finally headed home to rest. After a 30-minute journey, he arrived when the main gate opened, revealing a large, white house. After finishing his meal a couple of blocks away, Izuku finally headed home to rest. After a 30-minute journey, he arrived when the main gate opened, revealing a large, white house. Izuku, well, at least I know they're still awake, looking at the cars he brought, at least I don't have to worry about my cars anymore. Izuku parked his bike outside to enter the house. As soon as he entered, he searched for his team. Izuku, where the hell are they? Checking the first floor, have they gone out? He continued exploring the house, and upon entering what seemed like the living room, he saw his things. This made him worry less, and he began to walk towards his belongings to see if anything was missing. However, he stopped as he dodged what seemed to be a kunai, jumped back, activated his quirk, and assumed a combat position. Upon doing so, he realized that a girl had attacked him. He assumed she was a member of his team and wanted to clear up the misunderstanding before things got worse, but he couldn't speak as a woman's voice from behind him spoke first. Unknown voice, you picked the wrong house to rob, the sound of a gun being reloaded was heard. Unknown voice, now identify yourself and tell us what you're doing here. If you're honest, I promise a quick death, another weapon being loaded. Unknown voice, what's happening, girls? Why the commotion? Another woman's voice was heard. Unknown voice, we found a rat trying to steal. Unknown voice, hey. Did you come to steal the boss's cars? If so, a metallic sound was heard, you'll have to step over my dead body. Izuku lowered his arms, ha 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 ha, how funny, they care more about the cars than anything else. Unknown voice, what's so funny, slightly angry. Izuku, a bit calmer now. No, it's nothing. It's just that I was told there would be 3 locals, not 4. But knowing her, I bet she expected this to happen. I bet the 2 I know referred to the androids. I asked for help, but not just women. I just hope they're good at the job. Unknown voice, what the hell are you talking about? Have you gone crazy from fear? Heard her unlocking the gun. Now, speak. Izuku, well, before I tell you my name, can I ask a question? Still not turning around. Unknown voice, fine, but only one, and then you'll tell us who you are and your purpose here. Izuku, okay. Unknown voice, go ahead, ask your question. Izuku, are you the only ones living here, or is someone missing? The girls were a bit surprised because this thief was very calm, even after being pointed at from behind. Moreover, he spoke as if he knew why they were here and how many of them were living in the house. Unknown voice, yes, it's just us, but you better not underestimate us. Izuku, definitely lying, are you sure? Unknown voice, yes. Izuku, I don't believe you. They said there would be 5, not 4, and that person never lies. Unknown voice, how the hell does he know that? It seems he lied to you this time. Izuku, well, a promise is a promise. I'll introduce myself, but before that, would you mind telling your friend to come to your side? Unknown voice, why would I do that? Sternly. Izuku, I want to introduce myself properly. Don't worry, I can't do anything in this situation, don't you think? And he was right, he couldn't do anything, or at least they wanted to believe that. Even though they had him surrounded, something in them told them not to let their guard down because this guy gave them the feeling of being invincible. Unknown voice, fine, signaled, and the girl in front of Izuku began to walk past him to stand by her side. Ready, now do it. Izuku turned towards the girls. Well, sorry for the trouble. Let me introduce myself, gave a slight bow. My name is Izuku Pavlovin, alias VK. Note, VK will be the alias known to more people, other aliases will be used depending on the enemy. As soon as he said that, the girls tensed up. The thief turned out to be their boss, and to make matters worse, they continued pointing at him. Immediately, the girls lowered their weapons. Unknown voice, please forgive us, they said unanimously, bowing deeply, we had no idea it was you. Izuku, don't worry. I could say it was my mistake for not sending you a picture of how I looked, but let's leave that in the past, without changing his serious attitude. Unknown voice, thank you for understanding, they said again unanimously, feeling great relief because there were rumors that he had killed several for less than what they did. Izuku, let's make this quick. I'm tired, and I bet you are too. Introduce yourselves and tell me your role in my team. We'll have time to get to know each other better since we'll be working and living together for a few years. The girls nodded because he was right. They were tired and didn't want to share the whole story of their lives, staying up all night telling it. The fact that their boss decided to keep things simple was something they appreciated. Just as he said, they would have time to get to know each other better. Now, all they wanted was to finish quickly and go to rest. Izuku, okay, I'll start. My name is Izuku Pavlovin, and you'll be working for me for a while. I just want to clarify 3 things. 1, I want your complete loyalty. 2, follow the orders given to you. And 3, if you fulfill the first 2, rest assured you will be rewarded. And finally, call me Izuku or VK, whichever is easier for you. Unknown voice, understood, Izuku-sama. We have your complete loyalty, and we will follow your orders to the letter, they answered unanimously. Izuku gave a slight smile, that's what I wanted to hear. Now, your turn. Kazashi, I'll go next. My name is Kazashi Hisakawa. I was trained by Tenryu to be his new personal bodyguard as well as his trusted assassin. Appearance. Izuku, oh, if she was trained by my sister, I don't have to worry about her betraying me, I expect a lot from you. Kazashi nodded, good, next. Izuku, oh, if she was trained by my sister, I don't have to worry about her betraying me, I expect a lot from you. Kazashi nodded, good, next. Veronica, I'll go next. My name is Veronica Bogdanova, but you can call me Nika. I was trained by Boris to be one of his trusted assassins. You can count on me for any job. Appearance. Izuku, oh, I see why some of my sisters and mentors went on trips so often. It was to prepare them for the mission. They're really cautious, but they don't seem like locals. Alright, a quick question for everyone. How long have you been living in Tokyo? I mean, you were supposed to be locals. Veronica, don't worry, boss. Although we were born in other countries, we've been living in this city since we were little, so don't worry. We know this city like the back of our hands, confidently. Izuku, well, that takes a weight off my shoulders, relaxed. Next. Gina, alright, it's my turn. My name is Gina Kurosawa. I was trained by Vita to be her second personal bodyguard and her second sniper. Appearance. Izuku, they really went out of their way to give me a good team. I can only say, thanks, sisters and master, it's good to have another sniper. Now, you're the last. Gina, hi, my name is Reiko Kobayashi. I was hired to take care of your cars and weapon maintenance. It's an honor to work for you. Appearance. Izuku, note to self, don't let her touch my weapons or the androids, otherwise, I'll have nothing left to do. The pleasure is mine, but you'll only be in charge of the modern cars and some of the classics. As for my weapons, I'll handle them. It's nothing personal, I just find it relaxing to maintain them. Reiko raised a hand in a military salute. Understood, boss. Izuku, alright, I think that's everyone. Were they really only 4? By the way, what about the 5th person who was supposed to come? Unknown voice, sorry for the delay, boss. I just arrived 2 hours ago, said a girl who had just entered and left her suitcase on the floor. I hope we get along, boss. Izuku, well, don't worry. Just introduce yourself with your name and role, and if you were trained by someone, it doesn't matter about the order, said seriously. Kozakura, understood, boss. My name is Kozakura Kawaguchi. I was hired by Bulalaika-sama to be her personal hacker and also her chef. Despite appearances, I'm pretty good with both computers and cooking. I hope we get along well. Appearance. Izuku, well, I was doubting her, but not even hackers could find my mother's alias. Anyway, I'll ask my mother to confirm it. Likewise, I hope we get along. With that said, lock the doors, and then everyone to their rooms. After securing the doors, and Izuku locking the main gate, everyone went to their rooms. The girls told him which would be their room and also informed him about each other's rooms in case he needed anything. After that, everyone went to rest. Izuku, what a welcome. I just hope that for the rest of the years we spend together, things don't get complicated. Now, to sleep. Tomorrow, I'll call my mother to confirm Kozakura-chan. He began to close his eyes and fell asleep. But that night, just the fact that Izuku made an appearance in Tokyo set a couple of events in motion. The surviving Yakuza initiated their plan to ally with him, and to make matters worse, his father had finally found a clue about what had happened to his son on that tragic night. Character speaking, hello, how are you? Character thinking, those scoundrels. Character speaking another language, well, it's better than nothing. Character's action, takes their weapon and points it at the face. This might be needed for more than just character actions. Narrator's POV the same night when Izuku arrived at a different place, specifically at the Yaoyorozu mansion, the phone rings. Zen, half asleep, answers the phone. Hello? Takeuchi, Yaoyorozu, you have to come immediately. Zen, huh? Can it wait? Trying not to fall asleep while talking. Takeuchi, I know it's quite late, but you really have to come, it's extremely important. Zen, if it's that important, then tell me what it is, and I might consider getting out of bed. A woman's voice is heard. I'll make up Momo's mom's name since I don't know the real one. Shizu, darling, who's calling so late? Half asleep. Zen, covers the phone with his hand. It's Takeuchi, he wants me to go to his office for something important. Uncovers the phone and? Takeuchi, well, takes a breath, it's about your son. Zen, surprised, silent for a moment, then continues listening. Takeuchi, we managed to find footage from a nearby security camera before the explosion, and now we know he's alive. Zen, is that true? A bit excited, after 23 years, they finally found a lead. Takeuchi, there's just one problem. Zen, what problem? Worried. Takeuchi, it's about the person who took him. Zen, what about that? Takeuchi, it's not something we should discuss over the phone, that's why I need you to come. Zen, okay, I'll be there. Hangs up the call. Shizu, seeing him getting up and changing. Honey, what's happening? Zen, already changed. It seems Takeuchi found a lead about our son. Shizu, surprised. Zen, leaving the room. I'll be back in a while, and I'll explain when I return. Zen hurried to Takeuchi's office to find out everything they had discovered. After driving for a while, he arrived at a police building, entered, and headed to Takeuchi's office. POV Zen. I was reaching Takeuchi's office after he called me, saying they had found footage from a nearby camera near the incident. I am excited because if it's true, I might finally find our son, and perhaps, just perhaps, get Inko's forgiveness. However, I am also worried because Takeuchi wouldn't tell me who took him. I just hope it doesn't become more complicated than it already is. I knocked on the door to enter, receiving a nod. Zen entered. Well, what did you find out, Takeuchi-san? Takeuchi, first, I'd like you to watch the footage we found and stay calm. Plays the recording. Now, it's official, and I'm even more concerned. What did he mean by stay calm? After Takeuchi played the footage, I focused all my attention on the screen. I was surprised and excited to see 5 people who looked like soldiers with firearms. What thrilled me was seeing a woman, and though I couldn't see her face clearly, I noticed she was holding something in her arms. Paying more attention, I realized it was my son. How do I know? Well, she left the alley where my son was supposed to be, and when I first saw her before entering the alley, she wasn't carrying anything. So, I was more than grateful that she had my son in her arms. However, she seemed to be the leader of the men from before. Now, I know my son is still alive. But then, what did he mean by saying that woman would be a problem? I just need to find out who she is, ask her to return my son, and bring him to Inko. Lastly, tell Momo and Aiko that we found their brother. Or not? So, what's the problem? After the recording ended, Takeuchi spoke. Takeuchi takes away the recording. Well, that's the footage we managed to retrieve. All the other cameras seemed to be out of service, and they didn't capture anything. Even this recording was hard to find. Or rather, we were handed this recording. Zen, what do you mean we were handed the recording? And why did you say that woman would be a problem in getting my son back? We just have to find her and ask her to return my son, right? Takeuchi sighs. Zen-san, you and I have been friends since I accepted the request to find your son. As your friend, I'll tell you it's impossible for that woman to give your son back. Zen, why are you so sure? Is it because you can't see her face, and you can't identify her? A bit upset. Takeuchi, calmly, it's not because we can't see her face, we've already solved that. Puts a photo on his desk. Zen takes the photo. So, if you already have her appearance, why haven't you tried to find her? I bet locating her wouldn't be difficult with the technology your department has, it would be easy, right? Takeuchi, remember what I told you about the recording? Zen, yes, what about it? Raised an eyebrow. Takeuchi, he was murdered 2 days after giving us the recording. Zen, surprised. Takeuchi, and not only him, the one who managed to find her appearance was also killed. Zen tries to calm down. What does that mean? Takeuchi, for now, let me continue talking. Zen nods. After the murders of the aforementioned, we decided to ask for some help from other departments. I don't know how, but the government found out who we were investigating and sent a special unit. I don't remember their name, but what they told us, Zen was surprised, left us as shocked as you. Zen, still surprised. What did they tell you? Takeuchi, they told us to stop looking for that person immediately. These are the orders we received: erase every file related to this investigation, and anyone who resists or refuses to cooperate will be sentenced to life in a maximum security prison. After hearing that, all the files and information we had collected about your son and that woman were deleted, and the rest related to the investigation was confiscated. They made sure all evidence was erased. Zen, does that mean, couldn't finish speaking? Takeuchi, looking down, that means that's all we could do. In other words, we won't search for your son anymore. Zen, in shock. Come on, Takeuchi-san, tell me it's a joke. Takeuchi, still looking down, I'm truly sorry, that's all I can do. Zen, resigned, lowers his head. After 23 years of investigation, is this really all I can do? Can I at least know the name of that woman? Takeuchi remains silent. Zen, I understand. I apologize for asking for something impossible. Starts walking towards the door but is stopped by an arm. Takeuchi, Vladimir Vasilinov. Lets him go. That's all I can tell you. Zen, it's more than enough. Thank you for everything, Takeuchi-san. Exits his office. After leaving the building, I felt really bad. That small hope I had vanished as quickly as it came. But is this really everything? No, I will find him, even if I have to resort to the underworld to find someone who can help me locate my son. Narrator's POV. You might wonder who Shizu and Aiko are. Well, the answer is easy. Shizu is Zen Yaoyorozu's current wife. How did they meet? Inko and Zen were both quite depressed about what had happened, but they had someone who supported them during those difficult times. Zen met Shizu 4 years after the incident. She was a skilled detective helping to find his son. After working together for 2 years, she started developing feelings for Zen. He felt the same way, considering he had shared almost his entire past with her, and she stood by him. Shortly after, they started dating. After 3 years of a relationship, they got married, and a year later, they had their first daughter, Momo Yaoyorozu. This time, Zen would protect his daughter as if there were no tomorrow. It didn't mean he neglected the investigation. Now, he had more reasons to find the truth. He planned to present his son to his daughter as her older brother. But that's not all. He decided to tell Momo about everything when she was old enough. Inko's story wasn't much different. She blamed herself for leaving her daughter during such a delicate moment, wondering if things would have been different if she had stayed. She spent a couple of years, precisely 2, locked in her own house, as she didn't want, or rather didn't have the courage, to go out on her own. Fortunately, a friend named Mitsuki helped her leave the house, reintegrate into society, and even find a job. Inko became an accountant at a hero agency. After working for 2 years, she formed a good friendship with a hero named Crimson Fire. He invited her to dinner with the intention of expressing his feelings towards her, and Inko accepted. During the dinner, he revealed his real name, Hisashi Midoriya. After sharing her life story and what she had done to her son, Hisashi surprised and delighted her by saying he would also help her find her son. They started dating, got married 4 years later, and 2 years after that, their first daughter, Aiko Midoriya, was born. Inko became an overly protective mother, not wanting to fail her daughter and making sure not to repeat the same mistake twice. Like Zen, she decided to tell her daughter about what she had done when she was old enough, and Hisashi agreed. But to tell their daughters about the mistakes they had made and inform them that they had an older brother, there was still 1 more year to think about how to approach it. However, that year would be more than enough for their son to become someone to be feared throughout Tokyo and gather new allies to put an end to All for One. Unbeknownst to them, he initiated a countdown of 5 years to find him because when time runs out, he would disappear without a trace. While that happens, let's go back to Izuku. Izuku's POV: I was waking up from my long sleep, and wow, it was long. It's 2 p.m., and sleeping is undoubtedly one of life's greatest pleasures. But now is not the time for that. I bet the girls have already woken up, and I also want to check if my things have arrived safely, otherwise, someone is going to die. Now that I think about it, I still have to settle some positions. I wonder if any of the girls have any contacts or know someone we can use. I'll ask them later. I think I'll make a list to know what I still need to settle. Izuku got out of bed and changed, wearing light blue pants, a white shirt, and a black hoodie. Izuku takes a notebook and a pen. Let's see, currently, there are 6 of us, counting me. There are 2 assassins, 2 bodyguards, 2 snipers, obviously counting me, 1 mechanic, 1 hacker, and 1 chef. Sniff, something smells really good. I'll continue with the list later. Izuku headed to the kitchen, where he found Kozakura, though she hadn't noticed him yet. Izuku: oh, so you're really good at cooking, standing at the kitchen entrance. Kozakura, turning to look at him: good morning, boss, making a cute pout, and I told you last night I'm quite skilled, even if it doesn't seem like it. Izuku chuckled a bit: good morning, sorry about that. No matter how much I thought about it, I couldn't imagine it. But, leaving that aside, looking into the kitchen, the girls still haven't woken up? Or did they go somewhere? Kozakura: they haven't woken up yet, turning off the stove, but they shouldn't take long. What do you say we eat together while they wake up? Izuku, going to the table: I'll take you up on that offer. By the way, how did you know I was awake? Sitting down. Kozakura: that's simple. I heard some noise coming from your room, so I figured you were already awake, placing a plate in front of Izuku, so I wanted to prepare something to give you energy for your day, smiling. Izuku: she's an angel, and the food looks really good. I hope it tastes the same. I started eating, and without a doubt, her cooking level is on par with my sister Roberta. It's not a level anyone achieves easily. I'm really glad to have her as our chef, otherwise, I'd be eating fast food again. But as I ate, I noticed Kozakura kept looking at me expectantly. Does she want to know what I think? I hope that's all and she's not trying to poison me so soon. Izuku: it's really good, Kozakura. Let's see her reaction. Kozakura, a big smile on her face, eyes lighting up: I'm so glad you liked it. I was a bit worried that you wouldn't like what I cooked, so hearing that you did really makes me happy. Started eating. Izuku: good, it was just my imagination. After we finished eating, I helped Kozakura with the dishes. Shortly after, the girls were coming down from their rooms, and I was a bit surprised by how they were dressed. They were all in underwear and wearing shirts several sizes too big for them, but well, that's not my concern. Izuku, good morning, girls, holding a beer can, the girls reciprocated the morning greeting. Kazashi, stretching, what do you have planned for today, Izuku-sama? Veronica, taking a seat, huh? Do we even have a job? Gina, also taking a seat, what do you mean? Reiko, raising her hand, I also want to know if I'll have work today. Please say yes. Izuku, taking a sip of his beer, first, answering Nika's question, we probably won't get jobs until we get familiar with this city, or more precisely, until I get familiar with it. Gina, that makes sense. Izuku, but knowing my mom, she probably doesn't care and will give us a complicated job from the start. Well, whatever destiny has in store for us, looking at Reiko's still raised hand, oh, right, I have a car that's quite damaged. I guess this is a good opportunity to see how capable she is, Reiko. Reiko, yes, very eager. Izuku, I need you to eat well. I think you'll be the first to start working. Can I count on you? Reiko, of course, excited. Izuku, good. When you're done, come to my room. I'll be organizing my things. Also, girls, I need to talk to you about a couple of things. Leaving the kitchen dining area. Girls, tensing up, darn, he won't let last night's disrespect slide, the thought echoed among them in the dining room, and a gloomy atmosphere filled the room. It was a short-lived life. While the girls finished eating, I decided to tidy up my room. I haven't unpacked anything yet, and there's quite a lot of stuff. I'm mentally grateful that my room is spacious enough. With my weapons, ammunition, androids, spare parts, and clothes, I could easily run out of space. I hope it doesn't come to that because I want some mobility in my room. Anyway, let's make haste to the wrong step, but first, I should finish my beer before it gets warm. After finishing my beer, I decided to focus on organizing the weapons and ammunition for now. I don't think the girls will take much longer to finish their meal. Time skip 30 minutes later. Izuku, alright, weapons and ammunition are ready, looking at the little I've organized. Ammunition is in another part of the room. I was assessing what I had organized so far, only my living area and the ammunition in a closet that more resembles another room. My clothes are sorted, I just need to organize the spare parts and the androids. But before I could attend to what was left, someone knocked on the door, so I went to open it. Izuku, opening the door, took longer than I thought, but I'll let it pass since they had the decency to dress up. Alright, come in and sit wherever you can. The girls followed instructions, entered, and found seats. Reiko, what do you want to talk about, boss? Still excited. Izuku, wow, she has a lot of energy. Well, what I wanted to discuss, or rather, I want to know if any of you have contacts in this city. Gina, contacts? Why do you need contacts, Izuku-sama? Izuku, easy, as you know, we're only 6 members, they nod, but that's not enough. We still need people, and fortunately, it's not many, but the disadvantage is that we're still unknown here. So getting them might be a bit tricky. That's why I want to know if any of you have any contacts. Kozakura, sorry, boss, but as you know, I just arrived last night, so I don't have any contacts. Izuku, no problem. What about the rest? Looking at the others. Veronica, please forgive us, but due to the nature of our mission, we decided to keep a low profile and avoid attracting too much attention. Bowing in apology, the others imitated her action. Izuku, so that's a no. Looking at the ceiling of the room, yep, expected that. Well, for now, I'll focus on finding someone to sell the drug for me and also on finding a local informant. That'll be the first step. Alright, girls, the first thing we'll do is find a middleman to sell the drug and secondly, find a local informant. Veronica/Gina/Kazashi, understood, striking a military pose. Gina, do you have any specific type of person in mind? Noticing Izuku raising an eyebrow, I mean, do you want someone who appears decent to avoid suspicion, a common criminal, or someone from an organization? Izuku, so that's what she meant, you're free to choose, but make sure there's someone 100% disposable. Gina, understood. After saying that, the three went out to make the contact their boss wanted, while Kozakura and Reiko waited for further instructions. Izuku, Kozakura. Serious? Kozakura, yes. Izuku, I need you to gather information about who controls this city. I want names of organizations, their leaders, whether they pose a threat, and also if they have any connections. Kozakura, understood, Izuku-sama. Kozakura left to go to her room and fulfill the task she had been given. leaving Reiko alone. Reiko, what about me? Pointing at herself. Izuku, you and I will go to the garage. I need you to maintain the 2 engines for me. Reiko, with stars in her eyes, understood, boss. Izuku and Reiko headed to the garage, revealing several cars and a couple of motorcycles. However, they would only focus on 2 to which she would provide maintenance. Izuku, alright, these 2 are the ones I want you to maintain, pointing at 2 cars. Izuku, do you think you can do it? Izuku, do you think you can do it? Reiko, of course, jumping with joy as she would finally get to see how special her boss's cars were, even if there were only 2. Izuku, alright, I'm counting on you, giving her a nod. Well, it seems no one will come for a while, so it's best to check if my androids were damaged during the trip. I headed to my room not only to check them but also to activate a couple because I need someone to take care of Kozakura and Reiko while I try to see how fast the response is from both the heroes and the police after a crime is committed. Besides, I want to know how quickly the news spreads about my arrival. After all, there are many who want to see me dead, and there are also many who want to work for me in this city. Izuku, inside his room were 4 quite large boxes, and he stood in front of 2 black ones. Alright, let's see if they're not damaged. Opened one of the boxes. Well, you don't seem to be damaged. Now the next one, open the other box, lucky you 2 aren't damaged. Let's start. Took both androids out of the boxes and placed them on his bed, both having a human appearance. Ready now, Shura, Lena, execute sleep mode and initiate startup mode. As soon as he said that, both androids opened their eyes, got up from the bed, and positioned themselves in front of Izuku. Shura is at your service and awaiting orders. Lena is at your service and awaiting orders. Izuku, this is your order, protect this house and the people in this image, showed an image in which the girls appeared. Shura/Lena, understood, master. Izuku, alright, Shura, initiate personality A4, and Lena, initiate personality D6. Well, I think that'll be enough. Shura/Lena, understood, initiating personality A4/D6, estimated startup time, 2 minutes. After that, I left the house, not without telling the girls about the androids. I bet they'll get along well with them. Izuku, outside the house and on his motorcycle, alright, Tokyo, show me how dangerous you are. Narrator's POV. That day marked the beginning for everyone to meet the new master of all Tokyo. It was certain that anyone who stood in his way would be eliminated. However, it not only marked the start of the introduction of a new leader but also initiated the opportunity for everyone in Tokyo to either ally with him or try to confront him. Whether to gain his protection, seek his help for revenge against someone else, or challenge him to take control of all Tokyo. There was only one problem: the new leader was Izuku. Character speaking, hi, how are you? Character thinking, those jerks. Character speaking in another language, well, it's better than nothing. Character action, takes out weapon and points it at the face. This might come in handy for more than just character actions. P.S. The song was just to avoid leaving that space empty. Izuku POV. After activating the pair of androids, I decided to go to the city center to conduct some tests on the police and heroes' response time to a crime, as well as how they resolve it. I also wanted to check if there's any hero who could pose a bigger threat, so I can deal with them easily. But that's not all. I also want to know how predictable thieves and villains are when they act, and how they handle an unplanned situation. Maybe I'll get lucky and find a good informant or smuggler, you never know. However, I should lower my standards because if I stick to the Roan-Upper standard, I'm sure I won't find anyone who meets the criteria. After all, it's all heavy duty, and no, I'm not exaggerating. In Roan-Upper, they have the guts to mess with you even if you're the son of one of the city's great leaders. You're not exempt from being a target for a possible assault or kidnapping. Izuku, sitting on the roof of a tall building, overlooking a large part of the city. This city is so boring. If you wonder why I'm yelling, it's because I've been watching the city's activity for 2 hours, and I've confirmed my fears. The thieves and villains here are a bunch of cowards. I've seen 3 guys with small weapons, but they are still weapons. Apparently, the 3 of them wanted to rob a supermarket. While it wouldn't be the heist of the century, it was a start. However, these cowards saw a hero nearby before their robbery and ran away. While it's good to be cautious, there were 3 of them, and 2 of them were stronger than the hero. They just needed to give him a hit to knock him out, do the robbery quickly, and leave. Izuku sighs. I hope the girls have better luck. Looks at his watch, it's only 4:30 p.m, damn, it's really boring now. I understand why my colleagues didn't want to join me, they wouldn't survive a day without shooting or killing someone. Who am I kidding? I wouldn't survive a day without shooting either. While I'm here, I might as well do a little reconnaissance. Izuku, still sitting, well, I'll give this part of the city one last chance. If I don't see anyone with the guts to commit at least a small bag robbery, I'll have to cash in some favors to get a smuggler and an informant. 30 minutes later. Izuku, well, it seems I'll have to cash in those favors. I curse you, Tokyo, and I wanted to save them for when they were really needed. After that tremendous disappointment, I descended from the building I was on, heading towards the parking lot a couple of blocks away where I left my bike. But a block away, I saw a girl resembling Gina, only this girl was clearly 3 or 4 years younger than Gina. Still, let's get back to the point. What caught my attention is that this girl was pulled into an alley she was passing. Normally, I wouldn't care, things like this happen daily everywhere. But this time, someone has the guts to try to kidnap or assault that girl in broad daylight with a hero behind us. It could be a valuable resource and, above all, 100% disposable because no one would miss the bastard. I decided to stand on the side of the alley to see and hear what was happening. Izuku, discreetly watching inside the alley, 3 guys, approximately 17 or 18, but why are they wearing uniforms and nickel collars? Whatever. Criminal 1, boss, this is the girl who stole our motorcycles, holding her. Criminal 2, helping to hold her, yes, boss, it was her. She even wears the same clothes when she stole the bikes. Girl, struggling, let me go, you damn cowards. Yells with an angry expression. Leader, AHH, do you know how much it cost us to buy those bikes? Getting closer. Girl, ha, what a good joke. I bet your daddy bought it for you. Mocking expression. Leader, grabs her by the hair. I'll repeat what you said. Girl, are you deaf? I said your daddy. She didn't finish speaking as the leader punched her in the face. Izuku, darn, that must have hurt. But who would have thought? This girl turns out to have more guts than these guys. Still watching, judging by her physique, I bet she's stronger than she looks. Well, I'll intervene if it gets worse. It would be a shame to waste her potential. Girl, after being hit, she looked at him with a cold gaze. Izuku, oh, so she can make that kind of expression too. What is this? Killer instinct? But it's very weak, even Tanuki could surpass it. But where does it come from? Looks at the girl, well, I definitely want that girl. She may not be disposable, but I bet she could be a pretty loyal member. Leader, who are you looking at like that, you damn bitch? Gives her another punch. Thug 1 and 2, still holding her. Yes, boss, show WHO's in charge here. Leader, just hitting her won't be enough, we need to get the bikes back. And if we can't get them, we can sell her. Says with a malicious look. Girl, pretty tough, huh? 3 against 1 girl. With a defiant look, be sure that after what you do to me, I'll find you, and you'll pay for it. With the same cold gaze. Leader, that's if you can. Said mockingly. Girl, and what makes you think I can't? Angry. Leader, you know, there's a rumor going around recently. The girl looked at him to hear what nonsense he would say. This rumor says that a ship belonging to the MAFIA recently arrived. Although it's not known which MAFIA it belongs to, if they know, they can make good deals with them. Raising the girl's head by her hair so she could look at him. That's where you come in. Girl, TSK, get to the point already, idiot. Still defiant. Leader, well, you have a good body, and we need money. Connect the dots. Looking at the girl's body and grinning pervertedly. In other words, we have 2 options. 1, we prostitute you with the members of that MAFIA to get money, or 2, we sell you as a prostitute to belong to them. It all depends on how much they pay. Looking at the girl's body and grinning pervertedly. But before that, we'll have some fun first. Izuku, wow, rumors spread fast. I've only been here for 13 hours, and there are already rumors. Leaving that aside, it seems that this girl doesn't break or lose her calm easily. Looking at the struggling girl, well, let's see how she gets out of this. Looking towards the hero who seemed to be coming in his direction. Alright, you have 7 minutes before the hero gets close. Once he's nearby, I'm out. Thug 1, yes, the boss is the best. Thug 2, I'll follow after the boss. In a moment of carelessness, he released the girl's arm. Leader, idiot, don't let her go. Izuku, what an idiot. Girl, idiot. In that small oversight, the girl elbowed Thug 2 in the face, strong enough to knock him out. Without wasting time, she headbutted Thug 1, freeing herself from their grip. The leader was about to try to hit her, but his punches were effortlessly dodged by the girl. She landed a right hook that staggered him a bit, creating some distance. The girl took the opportunity to get into a boxing stance. Izuku, oh, so she's a boxer. That's not something you see every day. Leader, don't get too cocky. Activates his quirk, which seems to be a basic reinforcement type based on its appearance. Girl, smiles, oh, come on, then. I'll give you back those hits from earlier with interest. Puts on a serious but focused expression. After that exchange of words, the leader lunged at the girl, but the result was the same. She evaded them with minimal movements. The leader managed to land a punch on the girl's face, but she seemed unmoved. When he withdrew his arm, he saw the girl's face, but he was surprised to see that her skin had changed to a black tone. Leader, surprised WW, what the hell? Girl, still serious, why are you so surprised? This is my quirk, just like you, I can reinforce my body. The difference is, I'm stronger. Leader, don't be so arrogant, you damn bitch. Charging towards her. Izuku, idiot, she clearly isn't lying. That reinforcement looks similar to Tanuki's, just with a lighter thickness, looks at the hero, alright, it's time for me to leave, starts moving away from the scene. The girl continued dodging the guy's punches. Girl, alright, I'm bored with you. Let's end this. Leader, try IT if you can. He didn't finish speaking as the girl appeared in front of him. He tried to hit her with a counter, but it was dodged. After dodging the hit, the girl delivered a right uppercut, followed by a left straight, and finished with a right hook, leaving the guy out of commission. But she didn't stop, she kept hitting him when he fell to the ground. Girl, come on, idiot. You said you'd put me in my place. Continues hitting him. Thug 1, ouch, what happened? Looking at the girl, he froze at the sight of his leader with a disfigured face and the girl with bloodstains. What the hell are you doing? Girl, turns to look at him. You're next. Walks towards the guy, and like the leader, she starts beating him mercilessly. Narrator's POV. A few blocks from the scene, Izuku was waiting to see the outcome and what they would do to the girl. Shortly after the beating the girl gave to the leader and his lackeys, the hero arrived to stop her before she beat them to death. A few minutes later, the police and an ambulance arrived. Soon after, a small crowd gathered to see what was happening. The girl was put into the police car, but she struggled and cursed at the officers. Even after being handcuffed, she kept resisting. The 3 guys were taken away in an ambulance. From what Izuku could see, 2 had disfigured faces, and the 3rd only had some blood on his face, likely because the hero arrived before she could disfigure him. All of this was observed by Izuku from a distance with a barely visible smile. After that, Izuku continued on his way to the parking lot and from there to his home to see how the others had fared. He sincerely hoped they did much better than him. Izuku's POV. I was driving home to see how the girls had fared and also to find out if Kozakura had managed to find the information I asked for. Maybe I could ask her where to find the girl I'm interested in recruiting. Now that I think about it, I forgot to make a list of the missing members. Nah, I'll leave that for later. First, I'll see how skilled they are, and depending on how they perform, I'll make the list for the missing members. It's best not to jump to conclusions too quickly. After a while, I arrived at the house, but something caught my attention. The girls were outside the front door. Izuku, arriving and getting off the bike. What's going on, girls? They turned to look at him and signaled him to be quiet. I'll ask again, why are you outside the house? Veronica, pulling out her gun. It seems there are 2 intruders, boss. Izuku, I think she's referring to the androids. I better clarify this misunderstanding before they try to destroy them. Sees the other 2 also preparing to enter and shoot randomly. Put your weapons away. Veronica, do you know them? Asks while putting the safety on her gun. Izuku, yes, let's go inside, and I'll introduce them to you. Opening the door, voices can be heard near the living room. Aren't you going to come in? Veronica, yes, just let us put away our weapons. Izuku, okay. After the girls put away their weapons, they entered and followed Izuku to introduce them to the new members of their group. Gina, Izuku-sama, may I ask you a question? Walking behind Izuku. Izuku, go ahead, still walking. Gina, well, I wanted to know what roles these 2 new recruits will play. Izuku, that's a good question, and the answer is that they will be responsible for protecting the house in our absence, as well as the security of both the house and Kozakura and Reiko. Kazashi, oh, I see. So, they'll protect both of them since they can't fight or use weapons and would be an easy target. Nodding and crossing his arms as expected from the boss, he saw a problem and solved it right away. Veronica, one last question. Can they really protect themselves and others? Izuku, of course, after all, I created them. Entering the room. When we reached the room, I saw my two androids sitting on the couch. I'm grateful they've been reformed, otherwise, they might have broken it. After seeing them, I approached without a doubt. Investing 1 million in each and dedicating 6 years of my life was worth it. They're almost human, although Lena still needs a bit more to be like Shura, but I'll solve that later. Izuku, I'm back, my little ones. Sitting in front of them. Lena and Shura jumped off the couch to hug him. Welcome back, Izuku-sama. Smiling. The expressions on the girls' faces were priceless. But, I came to introduce my daughters. Yes, my daughters. I truly love and treat my androids like my children. I've grown fond of them over the years, taking care of them just like I did with Tanuki. The only difference is that they actually listen to what I say. Izuku, well, Lena, Shura, I want to formally introduce those who will be living and working with us for these years. They turned to the direction where the girls were standing. Shura, letting go of the hug and standing up. Nice to meet you. I'm Shura, in charge of house security and your protection in extreme cases. I hope we get along well. She finished speaking, giving them a smile and a thumbs up appearance. Chicas, as expected from the boss's daughter, she's lovely in every way, they all smiled. Lena, separating from the hug and standing beside Shura. Nice to meet you. I'm Lena, and unlike my sister, I'll be the one protecting you at all times and also a support member. She made a slight bow after introducing herself. Appearance. Chicas, so that's what he meant when he said he created them. But undoubtedly, the boss must care for her just like Shura. They also smiled at her. Narrator POV. Since everyone knows their roles, we'll skip that part. After their introductions, Lena told Izuku that Kozakura wanted to see him to discuss the information she gathered and update him on the girls. Following Lena's words, Izuku headed to Kozakura's room. Upon reaching the door, he knocked and waited. After receiving permission, he entered, closing the door to avoid interruptions. Izuku, walking towards Kozakura. So, what did you find? Kozakura handed him some papers. Don't read them yet. First, I'll tell you everything I found, and then I'll update you on the girls. Izuku, putting the papers aside. All right. He put on a serious expression. Now, tell me what you found. Kozakura, first, all of Tokyo is controlled by 3 major leaders. The first is a former Japanese military member who deserted and started a small mafia, mainly dealing in arms and drugs. His profits are decent, but his men lack loyalty, and he has issues with the other 2 leaders, especially the Italian mafia. Izuku, Italian mafia? Does it have anything to do with Kylie's mafia? Kozakura, no, it seems this is another Italian mafia. Like Kylie, they didn't want to stay in Italy and have a truce with Kylie, meaning zero violence. In other words, they won't attack each other to maintain the truce. Izuku, did you say they? Is the leader of this mafia also a woman? Kozakura, yes, I managed to get his name, and it seems his organization doesn't have a name. But I'll save the best for last. Izuku, alright, continue. Kozakura, yes, finally, an unknown. She saw Izuku raise an eyebrow. Well, he's unknown because all his dealings are under the table. No one has seen his face, not even the other 2 leaders, as he always sends representatives in his place. This is the image I got regarding his representatives. She showed him a picture. Izuku, so, the 3rd leader is all for one. It seems I'll make you pay soon for my arm and eye. Well, they have problems with some leader. Returning the image. Kozakura, yes, they have issues with both leaders since their representative seems mentally unstable, like a child in an adult's body. But aside from that, their members are loyal to their sensei, that's what they call their leader. However, they are few in number, so despite being one of the 3 leaders, they are one of the weakest, so they won't be a problem. Izuku, certainly won't be a problem, at least until All for One shows up, certainly, go on. Kozakura, well, as I mentioned, the best for last. Shinobu Nakahara is the leader of the Italian mafia, half Japanese and half Italian. She was raised in Italy because her father died a few months after she was born. After that, her mother decided to return to Italy with her daughter. As she grew up, she got into trouble to the point where she gained respect on the streets. With that respect, she formed a mafia that now rivals Kylie's. But seeing they were evenly matched, she decided on the truce and came to Tokyo to gain new territory. Currently, she is the strongest leader, but like the others, she has problems with the other 2. That's all regarding the introductions. Izuku, alright, now what kind of problems do they have among themselves? Kozakura, yes, the Italian Mafia wants to get rid of the Japanese Mafia because they've been causing problems in their territory and blaming her. But that's not all, he has attacked several members of her Mafia. The problems with the third leader are more about distrust than anything else. Next, the third leader has problems with the Italian Mafia because it could become a potential threat to his goals. Lastly, he has issues with the other Japanese Mafia for the same reason, as they don't respect territories and distribute weapons and drugs in his boss's territory, causing annoyance. And finally, the ex-military has problems with the leaders because he wants to be the sole leader. So, he distributes weapons and drugs in others' territories to make them destroy each other. Izuku, good job. Kozakura, smiling, thank you, Izuku-sama. Izuku, well, what are these papers for? Taking them. Kozakura, yes, these papers are the contacts the girls proposed. Izuku, in other words, they're just candidates, and it's not certain they're disposable or loyal, right? Kozakura, unfortunately, that's correct. Izuku, alright, I'll take a look at them. Kozakura, hi. Izuku, oh, I almost forgot. Kozakura, can you do me a favor? Kozakura, yes, tell me what you need. Izuku told her about the girl he saw and asked her to search the internet to find out where she was. After a few minutes, Kozakura gave him the address of a police station. It seems they have her detained for a while before deciding what to do with her. After that, Izuku went out again, asking the girls to clean and prepare another room and enough food for 7. With that said, he left in one of his cars, heading towards the police station Kozakura mentioned. After a 40-minute journey, he finally arrived at the police station. Without wasting time, he parked the car and prepared to negotiate with the girl. Izuku's POV. After entering the building, I had to bribe a couple of cops to avoid filling out forms. I also paid extra to have the cameras turned off for 30 minutes and erase any footage they had of me. Once that was done, they let me see the girl in an interrogation room upon my request. After 3 minutes, they brought her in, still with that defiant look. I'm sure I want her. If I earn her respect, she'll follow me anywhere, and if she does, I'll protect her. Once they left, she saw me, was handcuffed, and left alone with me. However, she kept that angry expression. Izuku, leaning back in the chair, alright, let me introduce myself. I'm Izuku Pavlovin. He pointed at her, mind telling me your name? With a neutral expression. Girl, gave an even colder look, releasing a faint killer instinct. Izuku, well, let's do it your way. Gave an even colder look, releasing a strong killer instinct, making the girl tremble. Seems I have your attention now. Let me make something clear. Released more killer instinct, making the girl shiver and breathe heavily. I'm in charge here, understood? The girl nodded, good. Stopped releasing the killer instinct, returning the atmosphere to normal. Now, can you tell me your name? Resumed his usual neutral expression. Nozomi Fujioka. Trying to calm down. Izuku, let's make this quick. Were you really going to kill those guys? Nozomi, made a face, are you an investigator? Is that why you're here? Trying to make me confess? Izuku, just answer. Serious, don't waste my time. Nozomi, TSK, whatever, they were going to end up 6 feet under if that damn hero hadn't stopped me. Yes, I was going to kill them unless that damn hero intervened. They'd be 6 feet under by now. Izuku, good. She understands her situation, why were you going to do it? Nozomi, those idiots crossed me, I was just going to give them what they deserved. Looking Izuku in the eyes. Izuku, I like that look, even if it meant killing them? Nozomi, yes, even if I had to kill them. Izuku, you know you're going to prison, right? Nozomi, yes. Still looking at him. Izuku, what if I told you there's another option? Looking her in the eyes. Nozomi, is this guy an idiot? His expression hasn't changed. Don't be fooled. But what if there really is another option? Interrupted by Izuku. Izuku, I don't lie. You really have another option. Want to hear it? Nozomi nodded, your second option is simple, work for me. Serious. Nozomi, are you kidding me? Izuku, I don't joke. I mean, by working for me, I want you to be my informant on the streets. Do you understand? Nozomi, who the hell is this guy? But that doesn't matter. What matters is that he's really asking me to be his informant. Well, it wouldn't be the first time I've been an informant, but why does he need one? But at this point, working for him sounds better than spending 10 to 15 years in prison. What if I agree? What's in it for me? Izuku, easy. Not only will I pay you for working for me, but you'll be under my protection, and I'll clear your criminal record. What do you say? It's a win-win. Still serious, so, what's your answer? Do you accept or decline the offer? Nozomi, I accept. How soon would I get out of here? And what are the consequences if I were to betray you? Looking at him with a poker face. Izuku, I doubt you'll dare to betray me. If you agree, you'll be out of here in a few minutes with me. And if you were to betray me, the answer is simple. You'll end up worse than those 3 guys combined. With a serious look, so, do we have a deal? Nozomi, we have a deal. With a determined look, she extended her hand. Any conditions? Izuku, for the first, I want your complete loyalty. Second, you'll work whenever I need information that can't be obtained through normal means. Third, you'll live under my roof. Lastly, if you follow the rules, rest assured I'll reward you appropriately. Nozomi, understood, boss. Izuku, just call me Izuku or VK, whatever you find easier. Well, it's time to go. He exited the room. After leaving the room, I went to talk to the police chief and told him I would take the girl with me. Initially resistant, a bit of a killer instinct helped change his mind. After intimidating him, he agreed, saying I could take her once they sorted out some paperwork for her release. As they took her out of the room and sat her in front of the person handling the paperwork, I noticed there were still 10 minutes left before the deal I made would expire. But who cares, you can never be too cautious. While they sorted paperwork, I carefully observed Nozomi. She seemed to resemble Gina a bit, but as I watched her, I noticed she looked somewhat blushy. The reason? I have no idea. Appearance, exactly as the scene was, but from Izuku's perspective. Later, as they finished, I received a call. I went outside to answer, telling Nozomi to wait for me. It was a call from Balalaika. Izuku, I guess you're calling to give us a job, mother. Balalaika, of course, the job is for midnight today, 2 targets. Can you handle it? Izuku, certainly, it's a good opportunity to see how skilled they are. Balalaika, that's good. I'll send you the information on where and who the targets are. Be attentive, and call me when the job is done. Once it's completed, I'll deposit the money to you, and you distribute it to your members. Izuku, agreed. Balalaika, good, and hurry up to get a girlfriend. I want grandchildren as soon as possible. Izuku, ha ha ha, I'll do my best. Goodbye, mother. Say hi to my sisters for me. Balalaika, I will. Goodbye, and take care. She hung up. Izuku, nothing really changes. He put away his phone. Nozomi, what do we do now, Izuku-sama? She asked while rubbing her wrists. Izuku, the first thing we'll do is go home and introduce you to the others. After that, we'll get to work. Nozomi, understood. Which station are we heading to? Looking at Izuku. Izuku, none. We're going in my truck. Walking towards his truck parked in front of the police station. Nozomi, eyes wide open, really, it's yours. Izuku, of course. Opening the door and getting in, get in before I change my mind. Nozomi, excited, yes, I'm coming. Getting into the truck. Well, it's best if I hurry to make preparations and inform the girls. It's 7 p.m. If I hurry, I bet I can get there in 30 minutes. That should give me enough time to grab a bite, prepare the necessary equipment, inform the girls about the targets, and organize them to determine who will go together and assign each group their target. It shouldn't be complicated.